Prince Harry invites royals to Invictus Games, clashing with Queen Camilla's 80th birthday, an obvious trap for King Charles and William.
Let's turn to royal news now. Prince Harry is reportedly going to offer an invite to the royal family for the 2027 Invictus Games, which could see a long-awaited reunion for the Duke of Sussex and his family. It's been reported that Prince Harry is keen to reconcile with King Charles and other royal relatives for the 7th instalment of the Invictus Games.
Stirring drama on Camilla's birthday, Britney slams Harry's move as a desperate, nasty power play to corner Charles and William.
I think it's such a sort of underhanded thing of Harry to do, because if he's putting it on this public platform, I mean, the games are supporting veterans. So what are Charles and William supposed to do? They represent regiments within the various military branches, and so they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard.
According to her, family negotiations aren't supposed to be aired out like some bad reality show.
Emailed invitation will be sent out in late June, and this will be followed by a formal invitation.
The royal clan only takes things seriously when the discussions happen behind closed doors, not when one guy's publicising it to make others look bad.
It's a little bit of a misnomer. Even most of the royals are sort of keeping their distance. Only the second son of the former Queen of Denmark actually came to attend the Invictus Games last year. So I think overall, it's sort of entrapment for Charles and William, but they should have the right not to go. This is like...
The British public won't blame Charles and William for skipping Harry's trap. Invictus supports veterans, sure, but now it's a PR ambush. As senior royals tied to military regiments, they're stuck between honouring duty and not rewarding Harry's sneaky, self-serving invitation stunt.
If they turn it down, he can play victim again. He is a sly little shit. And unfortunately, Brittany, she's completely right. He is sly, and he will use this to play the victim. Now, the worry that I have is that King Charles, I think, is potentially going to relent here.
Oh, and about the games themselves. Don't be fooled. They're not some massive event everyone must attend. Last time, just over 500 veterans showed up. Millions more worldwide didn't bother. So, the idea that the whole royal family must be there is more fantasy than fact.
Understanding is that palace sources feel the same way that I have felt over the last 20 hours since this 24 hours since this story broke, which is, gestures are leaked to the press before they're actually made. So how is this, a genuine reconciliation attempt and not a PR strategy?
Even the royal crew is giving it the cold shoulder. Bottom line, this looks like a trap for Charles and William, but they have the right to say no. It's an extracurricular veterans event, not a royal obligation. Of course, the royals still support veterans plenty behind the scenes.
Requirement. This is an extracurricular thing that the veterans are doing. Well, I'm sure they send their support at the same time. They're like, this stuff needs to be taken care of privately.
They do so much for veterans, don't they? They do so much for veterans. I mean, as according to Taz pointed out, of course he has done this publicly and given a press announcement. It is to put their backs to the wall.
Harry's public invite forces Charles and William into a no-win trap. Refuse and he's the victim. Accept and he wins. Charles might cave. He loves playing the nice guy far too much.
He wants to feel like he's been seen to do the right thing. And I feel it's so unfortunate that Charles is almost being bounced in to playing Harry's game. I know William won't go. He will not go. I'll eat my hat if William turns up to the Invictus Games.
Sadly, Charles looks like he's about to get pulled into Harry's little drama. William? No chance he'll show up. But Charles? He might pop in early before ditching Camilla's big 80th birthday party. It's plausible.
I think the king might actually show up because I think he's got a soft spot for Prince Harry. Hopefully, the king is sick. I hope that he does show up for Prince Harry.
Charles is torn between his duty to veterans and dodging drama. Invictus isn't the Olympics. It's pricey, poorly attended, and funded by taxpayers. Still, pressure's on him to show up and play along.
it doesn't stop, does it? It's just interview after series but it's just never ending.
For Harry, this is his last clingy obsession, his personal pride project, and he's desperate to get the royal fam there to boost its street cred. Sadly, Charles looks a bit weak on this one, and it's likely he'll play along.
Because he's caught between a rock and a hard place. He represents the armed forces, and yet he doesn't go to a huge event put on on their behalf. So he kind of, I think, feels stuck in having to go. But at the same time, too, I don't think the Invictus Games is really all that healthy of an enterprise. They rely a lot.
Of course, the invite is coming by email later this month because telling newspapers first is the polite thing to do, right? It's all timed, so Charles has a fair chance to attend since his schedule's booked 3 years in advance. Smooth. And get this, there's still no word if Meghan and the kids will make the trip.
But it also remains to be seen whether the Duke would risk bringing Meghan and their children Archie and Lilibet to the UK for the event, having previously insisted he could not do so unless the family were offered full police protection. Harry has agreed that Invictus should extend an invitation to his family, a source told the Mail on Sunday. The Invictus invitations are thought to represent the first time Harry has publicly reached out in a bid to gather his family together.
Harry's previously insisted they won't come without full police protection. The invite wording was carefully approved by Harry himself and sent to the palace secretaries. The Games will bring some economic boost to Birmingham, but Invictus insists no formal invites are out yet because prep is early days.
Fact that he couldn't even send the invitation before leaking to the media tells you exactly why nothing's changed. And the royal family, who have all of these concerns about the fact that Harry's main priority in life now is to play a media game, a PR game.
The royals see Harry's life as a constant PR circus, fueled by Meghan, deepening distrust. Now, he offers an olive branch on his terms. Yet, since he broke ties, the family should decide when to reconcile, not him.
You can't keep getting away with it! He can't keep getting away with it! He won't.
If the royals go along with Harry's conditions, they're just bending to him again. The royal family needs to set firm boundaries here. And honestly, for King Charles, don't even entertain the invitation unless Harry brings his wife and kids. Maybe at least the kids. The royal family shouldn't be placating Harry without getting something in return.
Like, the royal family should not be going along with this just to appease Harry without something in return. And I think for Charles, seeing his grandchildren would be top of the list. Of course, they don't deserve full-time security unless it's absolutely necessary, as is established by Revic. They would get an evaluation. If it was deemed appropriate for them to get security, they would.
Let's be real. Meghan probably doesn't want to set foot in the UK if she can avoid it. To her, these events are just a sideshow, a PR fashion parade, nothing more.
I doubt Meghan really wants to go, but she just treats this as a sideshow, a fashion show for herself anyway. She doesn't really seem to care about any of the veterans and what they're doing. So I could totally see her showing up, doing a couple of looks, ignoring the royal family, and then going home.
She does like being there. I think she sees it as a really good PR opportunity.
She was kicked out early from an event earlier this year because she was completely stealing the spotlight. And when she stormed off in a fury, that's when she first posted photos of her 2 children online. And we all know how that played out.
She hides it very well, and I think that's what the royal family was, that was beaten by that. They thought that she was absolutely delightful. And when I saw her, I thought she was absolutely delightful, but not for very long. And then you see what she's really like. And
Now, here's something fascinating from recent reporting in the Sunday Times. The royal correspondent Roya Nicker, who often receives official off-the-record info from palace staff, wrote a piece shedding new light on the William-Harry rift. Crucially, some of the info comes from Jason Knopf.
That is as close as an official briefing that you're going to get. okay? Because Jason Knauf has contributed on the record to this report. And this report, by the way, we'll go into it, looks much more into how William is wanting to transform the monarchy in general. But this is almost, I would argue, more damning for Harry, because I think what's happened with William...
Roya reports that William has given up on Harry for good. It goes something like this.
Right. The gulf remains between William and Harry, estranged brothers who have not seen or spoken to each other since their grandmother's funeral in September 2022. The Sussexes split from the royal family in 2020, and the subsequent fallout has probably forever divided two brothers who were once the closest of kin. Harry's recent interview with the BBC, when he claimed he would love a reconciliation with my family while firing verbal missiles at them in the same broadcast, did little to thaw the family.
Indifference defines William now that he's moved on, focused on family and the crown. Harry's just a distant, chuckle-worthy memory. Mentally healthy for William, but Harry and Meghan's cosplay royal antics and misuse of titles still demand serious attention.
I think what's happened with William is that he's gone through something much worse than falling out with his brother. He went through, in literally a matter of weeks, the prospect of losing his father and losing his wife in one fell swoop. And it's not that there's any sense that William wants to reunite with Harry. That isn't what this report is saying.
William's mindset seems clear. We had a good run, but now we're done. Unless Harry humbles himself in a major way, there's no future for their relationship. And Harry caused this breakup, no one else. Honestly, it's laughable. Harry still doesn't grasp the consequences of his choices. No one is interested in having his kids as working royals. The HRH title doesn't automatically confer that status.
And Harry still doesn't fully grasp the impact of his decisions, the consequences of them, that somehow in his mind, he thinks that anybody from his family is interested in having his kids as a working royal is crazy, and HRH does not automatically mean somebody's a working royal or has the opportunity to be a working royal. Harry should even know that at this point. So
he might have felt like a hero briefly, but now reality is setting in, and his kids' futures aren't as royal as he hoped. He's probably rethinking everything right now. There are also hints about the future monarchy under King William. It's going to be very different. He has no intention of living in Buckingham Palace, and the coronation will be scaled way back. Many key royal traditions could be at risk.
So I think it's a future here for his kids that Harry didn't quite anticipate, but William, he has no relationship with Archie and Lily. Why would he want them within the royal household? That just doesn't even make any sense. But Harry, unfortunately, he still is sort of, you could call it drinking the Kool-Aid and not.
A lot of the key traditions, I guess, people associate with the royal family may be at threat in some way with William, because, for example, they even make the point that, he's not really into the horse racing, doesn't really give a damn about Royal Ascot. He went for one day this week, but it's likely that people like Zara Tindall will step up, that Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, will step up.
There's a danger of overcorrection. The British monarchy is known for its pomp and ceremony, which is what sets it apart from celebrities.
There's a danger here because you don't want to take this too far. So I feel like sort of the danger for William is the overcorrection. So he thinks that in order to make the monarchy, you could say, more endearing to the people, he almost needs to dial it down so much that it could potentially lose its meaning altogether.
There's a fine balance to strike between modernizing and preserving tradition. It'll be interesting to see if William remains head of the Church of England too. That's a unique aspect of the British monarchy that other royal families don't have. It's something to watch for.